Hi, and welcome to the week of September 28th. This is a review of what's going to happen this week and how this week is working. If you haven't found out already, then we're taking attendance virtually, you're doing your classes virtually, and all my videos are already going to be pre-recorded. So we are going to have online meetings. I'm going to have those times posted up top. They're not actually up there right now, but they will up top when we'll be meeting, but it will be during our Orange 2 block time. And that's really just meeting in case you guys have questions and answers. I want to go through exactly what on the Moodle class is kind of the expectations this week. If we get down to where we're at, you guys have already done the first reading assignment, PC boot mission. You've done the deeper dive. Hopefully you've done the PC boot mission and the deeper dive already. And now you should have done, or some of you have done, the PC boot skirmish, which is just a quiz to make sure you've got the whole PC boot process down before moving on with the following things. So after you've done that, there's a little, just a choice question thing on operating systems, just to make sure that you've gotten to that point. And then we really get to this week. So our first day, which will technically be Tuesday, but I've already got it open. If you look on the calendar, you see two things open there that you have the ability to do that operating system camping, meaning you can click on and do it. It's not worth a lot, just to make sure you're ready. And the Linux MX mission. Now, this one's pretty easy. Basically, it's a set of videos to help get you prepared for the essay that is due the last day of the week. Basically, at this point, Chapter 2 is over. I don't want to have a test while we're out, or at least not intentionally have a test while we're out if I can avoid it. So you're going to watch these two videos today as the class assignment. One of them is, I think they're a total of 30 minutes worth of videos. The first one is about the popularity of Linux MX and why it's here. And the other one is a walkthrough. I will tell you that I didn't make either one of these. These are other videos that were done by people who've spent more time with MX than I have, but maybe not as much as you have at this point. If you've got your laptop at home, you still have Linux MX. Hopefully you're figuring out how to use it a little more, and hopefully these videos will teach you a little bit more about it. If for some reason you're one of those people who left their CD in the drive and it wouldn't boot to the hard drive, because remember, we set the boot order to CD hard drive. Number one, go back and take it out. Take the CD out of the boot order, then you can leave the CD in the drive. Otherwise, don't put the CD in the drive and it will work fine. If you brought yours in because you couldn't get it to work because you had the CD in the drive, all you have to do is call up and I can make your laptop be down at the window, and you can drop by and swap the spare back to your Linux MX laptop, because it's going to be hard to write the essay that's part of the end of the week without actually having used it. So in general, this is your first assignment of the week, which is to go through those two videos. But it's all part of the real assignment, which is this one. And I want to go over this one because it's due before you come back in on the following Monday or Tuesday, depending on what day we come back to as far as the Orange Day. The idea is that you should be done with this, you should be done with this. This is just a set of videos that you're watching. And after you've done that, you'll be able to see the MX mission. And by the way, these are all obviously things that need to be completed to see the next thing. If you haven't got an 85% or above on the skirmish, you can't see the camping. If you haven't clicked on and answered that question, you won't see the MX mission. If you haven't watched the MX mission, you won't be able to see the real assignment, which is the Linux OS mission. This is an essay that you guys are going to write, and it's intended to be a real essay. The objective of the essay is to learn about the differences of operating systems in general. We're comparing in this essay Windows 10 that you've used forever with Windows, or with Linux MX, which is what you guys are using today. So you should have already read the Linux section of the book. If you haven't, you can click on that and go back and say, oh yeah, I got to read these things. I haven't looked at all this stuff, because you should look at these things like, why do people think Linux is better than other OSs? I got to fix my link. My link broken. I'll fix that later. So the objective is to compare those things. So before completing the essay, you should spend at least 2 days with a Linux laptop, which is not an issue since you've been doing that. You're going to write an MLA essay about your thoughts on Linux in general. This is intended to be a comparative essay, comparing Windows 10 with Linux MX. Okay? It is a comparative essay. Should be 5 paragraphs. Should be MLA formatted with the title up top and your name and the date and all that good stuff you learn about in English class on how to do an MLA formatted essay. And it should be uploaded into the bottom of this, either as a Word document, or if you use Google Docs, that's fine. You can submit the Google link. If you do a Google link, make sure you share it with me, or you're submitting me something that I can't read. So, things to ponder while writing the essay. That is not saying you need to answer these questions. It's saying that you should think about these questions while you write the essay, so you kind of should be answering them. You get the idea. So, things to ponder. Did you like Linux? Realizing this is just one of 100 different varieties of Linux. Did you like it? Why or why not? Do you think it would be better to have on our school laptops than Windows 10? Why or why not? By the way, there's no right answer. If you're like, I hated it, I'm so used to Windows 10, and I don't think we could put it on school laptops because nobody would ever get used to it, that's an opinion. If you're like, wow, you know what, it took me a day to get used to, but once I got used to it, it's so much faster and so much more powerful, and I have so much more room, and I can do so many more things, and I can add software for free, whatever your reasons are. Do you wonder why we haven't used it before? Would you consider installing it on an older PC at home to renew it? Just some questions that you need to think about. Okay, so my grading points. Did the paper compare Linux with Windows? If you only talk about Linux and never say Windows, you didn't compare the two. Did the paper use the talking points above or just answer them like it was a test? In other words, I don't want you to say number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. That's not the idea of those talking points. Those are just things that you were supposed to think about. Did the paper support your thoughts or position with any reference to articles assigned? So you don't have to reference articles, but if you want to reference articles, that's just a positive point for you. Did the paper try and convince me, the reader, that your position was valid? Did the paper actually take a position, or was it just willy-nilly? I have read papers before that at the end of the 5 paragraphs, which by the way, it could be longer. If you're long-winded and you want to write a 3-page paper, that's fine. You don't get extra points for it. If you can be concise in 5 paragraphs, that's kind of the idea of a comparative essay. 5 paragraphs is rough. You can go longer. Okay, but I've read ones before that in the end I had no idea what the student thought. Whether they were like, I like Linux, I like Windows. They just kind of went back and forth through the whole paper. And in the end, there was no conclusion. And there should be, right? The last paragraph of a comparative essay should be a conclusion saying something like, in the end, I found Windows to be the best for us here at National Trail High School. Bleh, whatever you're going to say after that. And was the paper MLA formatted? That's part of what I'm grading to make sure that you understand how to write an MLA paper. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I did have a little boot comparison video down here. It's a short one to show the difference between the same really, really low-end netbook with, in this case, Windows 7 and Linux on there. It's a short video just to see the difference in the speed there, because I did do a speed test just to see on the same machine the difference. Okay, so that's the real assignment that you've got for the week. So it would be better if you watch the videos whenever you feel like it and then start working on that essay, because that essay is due when we come back. The idea being that you're doing this as your Monday, Tuesday thing so you can get started thinking about. The act of writing an essay takes a little bit of time, but not if you thought about it ahead of time. and what you want to say. Once you've submitted this, you will see the skirmish come up, because we're done with chapter 2 at that point. We've looked at BIOS, we talked about the boot order. You guys should go ahead and take that skirmish to make the chapter 2 fight appear, so that we can take that when we get back. We are going to talk when we get back and kind of wrap things up, but really the next full class we have after we get back at school will be the culmination of chapter 2. If for some reason the quarantine gets extended, you will do the fight from home. I will do a little bit of review talk. I will post that as an item, and you will be able to do the fight from home. It will be timed, so you will still have 75 minutes, but again, it's open note, open internet. You should be able to find the answers to those questions pretty easily, I think, given the amount of time you have for that test. So that's it. That's the week in review. That's what we're doing. I'm going to send this out as an email to you all so you know what's coming up. And all those things are already up here on the calendar. You can see those things. And if we switch over to October, you can see them then on Thursday. The skirmish opens, as well as the mission being due, because I really would like you to work on that and have it done before we come back. This isn't a come back on the 5th, because you can see on the 5th I've already got it saying that that's when we're going to do the fight. We'll see how it is and how we do. We may push that back one day to the 7th, and then we'll move on with chapter 3. And if we quarantine, I'm just going to email you a video review, and we will have it on the 5th, or technically the 6th if we're still quarantined at that point. So hope everybody's doing good, and I will see you when you get back to trail.